Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 41 in my Automate Everything Minecraft series. In today's episode, I am going to be working at my nuclear base to do a few things that I really would like to do. And the first thing I would like to do is to export the iron ore that I am creating over here to my main base. Now, if we take a look, we have quite a bit of iron ore over here, 149,000. And we are making quite a bit as I speak right now. So let's go ahead and set up a system to export that. So what I need is an export bus and an import bus. So let's grab those. I will need some cards. So let's also grab those. And I don't know why I was in the wrong tab there, but whatever. And I also need an import bus, and then I'm going to need some covered cables as well. And I'm not sure. I think I need black variant and blue variant, because those are the two colors I'm using down here. For the main system, I have blue right here, so I can just hook something up to this. And for this, I can also use blue, I guess. So let's... first off, I need an import bus into my main system, and that will be right there. And then right here can be where we export to. And then obviously we need some sort of inventory here, but that won't be a problem. We can just use a chest or modular storage. I think I'm going to go ahead and use modular storage just to give me a little buffer here. And there we go. We should be able to put this in, and we should see some iron ore start to come in and leave. So that's cool. That should send the iron ore to my main system. That's one thing down. Another thing I would like to do this episode is to reprocess the used fuel that I have from my nuclear reactors. Now, after it gets used, it is not completely worthless. It actually has quite a bit of value, and we need to reprocess it. To reprocess it, we need a thermal centrifuge, because if we look at the recipe here, the dual depleted fuel rod here, if we throw it in a thermal centrifuge, we can get some plutonium out of it. We can get some uranium-238 back and some pulverized iron. So that is definitely ideal to reprocess this and get some value out of it. So let's grab my scuba suit. Actually, it's not in this system. It's in my main system. I need my radiation suit so I do not die from radiation poisoning. And then rubber boots. Cool. Let's change into all that right now. And then what we can do is we can grab these dual fuel rods. We will need an export bus. And we will probably need import buses. Let's just grab a bunch of buses, a bunch of cards, because there are a few things I need to do. I will need a thermal centrifuge. A little bit later, I'm going to need a canning machine. So let's grab one of those right now. I said one. And we will need some upgrades for those machines as well, such as transformer upgrades. Definitely overclocker upgrades. And that's more than I'll need, but whatever. And some energy upgrades would definitely help as well. I don't think I will need any auto output upgrades, as I can just import everything back into the system. Okay, so let's get this started. Down here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the thermal centrifuge over here, in this corner right here, because I can have access to my applied energetic system from the top and access to energy from the back. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to dig out this right here. We're going to need some glass fiber cable, but that's not a problem. I can go ahead and grab that here in a second. And I might need another MFSU here. So let's see. Let's just grab one and stick it right here. This is an input, so what I can do is I can have this glass fiber cable also input to this MFSU right here. Right now it appears to be night, so we're not getting any energy flow from the solar arrays up top, but that's fine for right now. And then we'll just not stick the thermal centrifuge there, and because we'll have an explosion if I do that right now. What I should probably do is hook up both plop down both these machines and throw in the transformers. For the fluid solid canning machine, I think I can just go ahead and throw in a bunch of overclockers. For the centrifuge, I need to be a little bit more careful because that thing uses a lot of energy. Over there I have 6, so let's go ahead and use 6 over here, as well as some energy upgrades. And then I also want a redstone inverter upgrade, and that is because this upgrade allows the thermal centrifuge to stay hot at all times, and that just basically means it doesn't need to heat up to do things. For the thermal centrifuge to do certain tasks, it needs to be at a certain degree of heat. For a lot of things it's like 3,000 degrees. For some things it's 5,000 degrees. I believe for reprocessing fuel it is the full 5,000 degrees, which is the hottest it can get. And actually, let's hook this thing up without the upgrade. And cool, nothing exploded. That's fantastic. Let's also plop down a cable there. We do have energy now. As we see, nothing's going on down here. It's not doing anything whatsoever. If I throw in this upgrade, it will start using a little bit of energy, and this little bar right here will start to move. That just basically shows the heat level of the thermal centrifuge. So we do want this thing to be hot. Okay, cool. So one thing I didn't think about is I actually need access to 2 sides for the thermal centrifuge. But I don't think that's going to be a problem, because what I can do is I can use over here as an access point as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, how I'm going to do this is we're going to have an export bus right here and an import bus on top. And let's throw in some acceleration cards in both of these. The export bus will have the dual fuel rod depleted uranium. And actually what I need is I need a capacity card, because in the future I will also have at least one more fuel type to throw in the thermal centrifuge. So I will need the extra access there. Let's go ahead and get some covered cable and some ME conduits. I do not need the dense variant. So right here we'll need that. Right there we'll need that. I think how we're going to do this is just run that up. I will need to be careful here, because I do need to I need to detach a few things here, because I do not want these to connect up right here. I want them to be kind of on their own. Okay, so right now we have 1, 2, 3 channels on this cable leading out of the ME controller right there. We can do 8 with the plain Jane covered cable I'm using. So that's cool. We should see dual fuel rods in there, and we do, which is fantastic. I do want to go ahead and deposit the fuel rods I have with me in here. And if we take a look right now, we do not have any plutonium in here. In a moment, we should have. Once this gets up to its proper heat level, it should start processing this, and that'll be cool. Let me grab some stone here so I can make things a little bit neater. I'm also going to need some facades. And I don't know why I did this. I need facades here, not stone. And I will need to make some more facades at some point soon, looks like. Anyways. So once that gets processing, we'll have some new stuff to play with, and play with it I will, because I'm going to make some MOX fuel rods. And to do that, I will need the plutonium because we need to make MOX nuclear fuel, which requires plutonium and uranium-238. To make the big plutonium, I'm going to be using the tiny piles of plutonium that I will be getting from the depleted fuel rods that will be running through here. So it looks like that process has started, so I can start programming some stuff in. Let's see, I do have a pattern terminal, cool. So what I need to do is I need to take my tiny piles of plutonium, throw that in the system and tell it, okay, now we can make some big plutonium. And then once we have some big plutonium, we can make the fuel. So we need the uranium-238. Cool. And once again, we need to throw that in here. And then to make the fuel rods, I need to, okay, how do I have this set up down here? I don't think I have this set up to where I can use the, yeah, I don't. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to set up a metal former in a similar fashion as to the one I have over there. So let's see here, metal former. Come on, don't be so slow. And I'm going to need some upgrades, so let's just grab those real fast. I think I have everything else. So hopefully that metal former is done. It is. I need to be careful once again to not zap this thing to death. So the metal former will go right here. We'll throw the transformer upgrades in first, as well as some overclockers. To be honest, I probably don't need too many overclockers, but we'll go ahead and throw in 8 just because. No, we have 4 over here. Let's do 4 over here as well. And then we don't need any more overclockers in here because this machine will not be able to keep up, or yeah, this machine will not be able to keep up with this machine, so it's pointless to have more overclockers in here. So we have all of the upgrades we really need, and then some, to be honest. Let's only do 5 in here. This used a lot more power, so that's why I threw in more overclockers. So now that I have the transformers in, we can go ahead and connect this up. And I do want to replace that torch. So this should be good. What we need to do is actually, I need to get rid of that torch because, actually no I don't, because I can just run this over. And what we're going to do is, actually I need one more upgrade, my bad. I need an ejector upgrade to eject to the west side. Is this set to the west side? West side. So we need to eject. How do I have this? Oh, metal plates, duh. Or iron plates, not metal plates. And so let's actually grab some iron plates here. We have export buses with us. So let's go ahead and export iron plates, acceleration card, cool. And then I can just throw these in my regular system. Anyways, we should have some fuel rods coming in here, which is fantastic. And then right here we need an export bus. And I totally forgot, but I also need an import bus. And this is not going to be the cleanest thing, but whatever. So we'll hook it up like this. This export bus needs to export the MOX fuel. And so let's go ahead and tell the system to make some MOX fuel. I need a crafting card. So what I can do is throw in the crafting card right here, throw in some acceleration cards, and it should make as much MOX fuel as it can. And actually, I don't want to throw in acceleration cards. I might want to throw in one, but basically if you have 3 acceleration cards in with a crafting card, it'll say you need to make a stack of whatever item. And I didn't even do that right because I didn't put it in here. But anyways, if you have 3 acceleration cards with a crafting card, it will try to make a full stack. And if it cannot make a full stack, it won't make any at all. Or it won't tell the system to make any at all. So that's not what we want. We just want it to do a few at a time. And with 1 acceleration card, it should do just that. Actually, you know what? Let's take that out for now. And at some point, it should start making some Mox fuel rods. I definitely don't have a whole lot of plutonium right now, but yeah, I do have a little bit. So let's go ahead and throw that 1 acceleration card back in there. And now that we have some Mox fuel rods, what we can do is we can actually go ahead and tell the system how to make the dual variant. And that would be like this right here. Fantastic. So we can throw that in here. Now we can make dual Mox fuel rods. So what I'm going to do is, let's see how much plutonium I have. Not a whole lot. Didn't think so. So I can make a few of these. Can we make 3? No. We can make 2 though. That's kind of all I really need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to integrate these Mox fuel rods into this system over here, because I want to transition all of them over at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell that to not hold anything and tell it to hold some Mox fuel rods. Hopefully, because I have it in the first slot here, it will pull them out first, and so they will get integrated into the system, and hopefully, like I said, they will be integrated and then they will be used. And then I can set up the filter over here to pull them out automatically, like I have the regular uranium fuel. And then I can also reprocess the plutonium fuel, because if we look this up, the depleted... Okay, let's just do Mox. The depleted fuel rods for the Mox variant can also be run through the thermal centrifuge, and they provide even more plutonium. Now the thing is about Mox fuel rods, they last half as long as the regular variant fuel rods, the uranium variant, but they can produce more power, and they will produce more power in these reactors, as I do have them preheated to a decent temperature. So I think that's a pretty decent wrapping up point for today. I would have liked to have got to installing some nuclear reactors in this building to provide more scrap, but the thing is that setup's going to take a pretty long time in and of itself. So I think for right now I'm just going to call it good. So in today's setup, or in today's episode rather, I set up this system right here, which just basically reprocesses the uranium fuel rods that I'm using in my big nuclear reactor building. And then I'm setting it up to also build some Mox fuel rods, which then can be integrated into the facility over there. And those will provide a lot more power than the fuel rods I'm using currently. So that's pretty exciting. Anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation in modern Minecraft, you should consider subscribing to my channel, because that's kind of what I do. Signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.